Alright guys, today I'm going to do another knife review for you. This was requested quite a bit by a lot of my viewers who have seen it in my EDC update. This is the TDI ankle knife from K-Bar. Now this is the ankle version. This actually bought from Smoky Mountain Knife Works, kind of a package deal. I got this ankle rig, which the sheath can be mounted to. As you can see here, you actually have 8 holes on the sheath. If you can see that, 2 of them have screws through them right now. I have the this is a separate carry option, as a pocket clip, which I actually been carrying this on my waistband as is. But when this came to me new, you get the sheath and you get this ankle rig. Okay, and of course you can mount it to this plate right here. Whatever's comfortable, you can actually believe you can mount it on an angled setting. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can angle it about 15 degrees or so, whatever is most comfortable in either direction for your ankle carry. And of course, you would wrap this around your ankle and pull it nice and snug, and of course use the Velcro strap here. And you would carry it very similar to a ankle pistol, if you're familiar with that. It's basically the same way, only you have a blade here. Again, as you saw, I chose to I actually wore this for a while. It was I wouldn't say uncomfortable. It's not uncomfortable. I'm not used to having extra weight around my ankle, so I opted to use a pocket clip. Okay, I carry this inside the waistband like I would a gun. Now, this knife was originally invented by John Benner in 1986. He is the head of the Tactical Defense Institute, hence the TDI. That's what it stands for, Tactical Defense Institute. And he's been training not only police officers but civilians for many years, again since '86 when he invented this style knife. And this was really invented to be on your weak side and to use with your offhand. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say you're a police officer or an armed civilian. Okay, you carry a gun, and you get into a situation where your perpetrator or someone's attacking you. You have to stop a situation, but now you're on a CQC, situation. Of course, that stands for close quarters combat, where it's basically a hand-to-hand. There's no distance in between you, and of course they're going to go for your gun. Okay, now there's a struggle going on. They have their hand maybe on your gun already, and your hand's over their wrist, trying to prevent them from taking it out, and using your weapon on you. This is why you'd carry this knife. It's a kind of a last-ditch knife. You carry this on your weak side. So, for example, I'm righty, so I'd carry this on my left side when I'm carrying a gun. And okay, so now I'm in a situation where they're trying to go for my gun, and we're real close. We're fighting. Now I can, with my offhand, my weak side, I can draw the knife, and I can use this to get the person off of me. Okay, so I can get a little bit of distance so that I can draw my gun. Of course, there's 1,000 different scenarios you can use this knife for. Let's say you're injured, your right hand's injured, so there's no way you can grab your gun. At least you have a weapon on your weak side that you can access. So that's really the main intent of this knife. However, of course, it doesn't have to be limited to just that use. You can use this knife for any situation you want. It doesn't even have to be a defensive blade. It actually can be a pretty decent EDC knife for everyday carry. Some people really don't like the fact that it is tilted like that or slanted. The reason that it is angled, as you can see, I mean, it's obvious. Some of these models are not as angled. I believe I actually believe this has a less angle than the other knives, because this is mainly, or it was originally designed for the ankle carry. You don't want this sticking out the side of your pant leg too much, so it has less of an angle than the smaller and larger brothers to this knife. So imagine the other ones having even more of an angle. I know the shorter version has kind of a wider blade, and it's, like I said, it's angled a little bit more. But basically, by design, when you're slicing into something, because it's angled away from your fingers this way, it actually bites in more. It has no choice but to bite in. I mean, generally, most knives, when you're holding it in a regular grip or saber grip like this, your thumb, the tip of your thumb, is basically where the point is usually going to be. Okay, so this is not something every single knife has to go by, but it's a general rule. If you look, when you hold it in a regular grip like this, a natural grip, if you follow your thumb, that's most likely going to be where your point is. But because this is angled down, like I said, as you're slicing into something, it's forced to actually go further into whatever medium you're cutting. So of course it's a lot more effective that way. But again, aesthetically, some people don't like it. They think it's very odd, and they want nothing to do with it. And I can't blame them. I mean, knives are kind of a personal preference. Some people like it, some people don't. I actually have this knife because I can't always carry my gun. Oftentimes when I go into New York State and New Jersey, I can't have my gun on me legally. I can't have it on my person. I can drive through the states with the gun in the trunk, unloaded, but you know, in most scenarios, that's not going to help me. If I have time to run to the trunk of my car, open it, load my gun, I would say that's a pretty good situation. But in most cases, if I actually need a gun, I'm going to need it on me and ready to go. So it doesn't really help me. Plus, you know, as far as the law goes, you know, with guns, you have to be very, what's the word? You have to be very aware of your laws. Just because you have the right to own a gun does not give you a right to be, you know, kind of, you know, flaunting it around and reckless with it. Okay, you have to be a lawful citizen. And I don't even bother. When I go into New York State or go into Jersey, I just don't bring it. I feel uncomfortable not having it, but you know, so be it. That's just the law, and I do follow the law. So I like to have a secondary blade, and because this carry is very similar to a gun, because of the fact that it is angled, it's I mean, it's not as extreme as a gun. The handle on a gun would be more angled, but it draws almost like a gun. It's not straight up and down. Of course, you can pitch this more. In other words, I can carry it on my side like this, so that when I go to grab it, it feels more like a gun handle. And you know, instinctively, doing my drills and stuff like that, if I got to a situation, most likely the first thing I would do is reach for my side, for my gun. So this kind of replaces my gun when I can't have it. So that's why I bought it. Like I said, I got this set from Smoky Mountain Knife Works for $49.99. You can get the same one in a serrated version if you wanted. And again, that was the knife, the ankle rig, and this sheath for it. But it did not include the clip. I got that separate. Actually, a very generous viewer of mine sent me the clip because they didn't need it. So that's kind of what you get if you do order from there. I believe you can get this knife on eBay cheaper. I think I saw this knife for around $30 on some sites. Just the knife and sheath, no ankle rig at all. So you know, shop around. If you don't want the ankle rig, you know, you can get it cheaper. So that shouldn't be a big issue. As far as size, this has a 3.5-inch blade. And again, this is kind of the medium size. There is a larger size and a smaller size. Overall is 7 inches, and that of course is from the butt end to the tip. Because it is angled, it's going to be a little bit shorter than it would be if it was, you know, straightened out. It's not super heavy. Actually, K-Bar on their website, they do all their weights in pounds, like a percentage of a pound. I think this weighed out to, or at least their website said 0.15 pounds, which I didn't think was very accurate. So I got my little scale here, digital scale. Let's do a weighing here on video. Let me just make sure this is in ounces. Alright, and let's get this to 0. Alright, so we're in absolute 0 right now. And slowly rest that on there. And we got 2.57 ounces. Okay, let's just make sure that this is the same. I'm actually going to shut it off, turn it back on, just to make sure I'm getting consistent reading here. Alright, we're back at absolute 0. And let's weigh it again. And I'm getting the same, 2.57 ounces. So, and I would say that's probably accurate. I mean, just feeling it. It feels under 4 ounces, but now I can tell from the scale here it's just under 3 ounces. So it is lightweight. It's not super heavy. You know, I mean, when I wear it, I kind of forget about it. You know, I don't have a preference on weight for knives. I've carried really, really light knives and really bulky, heavy knives. It doesn't really matter to me because I don't, you know, I'm not in the military. I don't have to sling around a bunch of gear on me, so that weight's not a big issue for me. However, this is light, so if that is an issue for you, this is a light knife. The blade here is coated. As you can see, it's black. I believe they use a powder coat. I could be wrong on that. I think I mentioned that in my other video. This specific model feels like it's powder coated. I could be wrong on that. I don't have, not 100% sure on that, but it definitely feels, you know, by the texture, it's a little bit rough. So I don't know for sure on that, but it looks like a powder coating. The blade is an AUS 8A stainless steel, and it's a hollow grind, which is a little bit hard to see because it is coated. There's a swedge, and catch the light right, you can see the swedge on the back there. But anyway, these blades are ground from factory at 15 degrees per side, What that means is that each side of the edge here, the exposed, you can see that shiny stainless steel. That's 15 degrees, okay, to give you a 30-degree edge in total, which is a little bit skinnier than some other knives. It is a great slicer. If you guys are familiar with Spyderco knives, I believe all, or most I should say, if not all of their factory edges are 15 degrees. Some people, when they get Spydercos, they think, you know, they're the sharpest knives of any production company, because generally they do that. They do 15-degree angles on their blades, as opposed to, you know, a lot of Benchmades and you know, SOG knives and Kershaw, they use a 40-degree edge. I mean, this is not, it's not definite. I'm talking about just a generalization. 40 degrees is going to give you better, what's the, I don't want to explain, I don't want to confuse anyone with this. The lower the angle is on the edge, the sharper it will be, but the faster it will wear, okay? You know, as far as what I've seen over the years, 40 degrees for an edge is about average, okay? 20 degrees on each side can give you a nice sharp edge, but it lasts longer. When you go real skinny, like, you know, your kitchen knives are most likely 10 to 15 degrees per side, and they will wear faster because of that, but they are sharper. So, I mean, there's a compromise, of course. The wider you go, the longer it'll last, but you can't get it as sharp. So, hopefully that didn't confuse anyone. These are, in fact, made in Taiwan. I don't have my jeweler's loop right here with me, but you can trust me, it says Taiwan right here. Actually says 1486 Taiwan. I believe 1486 is the specific model of this knife. But again, you know, as I said before, it doesn't really matter where they're made. You know, quality is quality. I know some people have an issue with knives made overseas, so I did want to mention it. But you know, a lot of K-bar stuff is made overseas, and people still love it. As far as ergonomics, this one's just a little bit short for my hand. You can see that my pinky doesn't completely wrap on it, but it is comfortable. There is a good sized finger choil in here, and there's a, if I can catch the light right, there's a cutout right here, okay, for your thumb. I mean, depending on how you're holding it. It's actually not for your thumb. Your pointer finger wraps around and nestles in that cutout, so that's really comfortable. There is jimping on the back. Not super grippy, but it shouldn't really matter too much in this specific knife. Of course, in the reverse grip, actually feels really good and really solid in the reverse grip here. I mean, you know, I don't think you'd have any troubles with this slipping if you were to have to stab something with it. As far as construction, you have this the two handle scales here, and it is full tang knife. It's hard to see because it's black, but you can take my word for it. The tang goes straight down all the way to the back. It is full tang. It's basically one piece of steel with two handle slabs on either side. The handles themselves are they're textured, but it's more for looks. It's not. It doesn't feel super grippy. It's actually pretty smooth. But again, I don't think it's a big issue here. There are some cutouts in the back for more grip, especially when you're in the reverse grip. You can kind of place your thumb here. I think the knife's a little bit too short to do that. Naturally, my thumb goes over the top as opposed to back here. But maybe that's just me and my hands. So that should be it. That's the TDI knife from K-Bar. As I said, you can use the aftermarket pocket clip for inside the waistband. There's holes in the sheath, so you know, if you wanted to, you can even wear this as a neck knife. Although I think it's a little bit big for that. You might want to go with the smaller version of this knife if you're going to wear it around the neck. Of course, this specific model. Actually, I believe all the TDI versions do fit this ankle rig. You can buy this separate. It's about $17 or $18 from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I'm sure it is available all over the internet. But if you have a different version of this knife, you can still buy it, and I believe the sheath is still universal for this the mounting plate. So, you know, if you already own one and you're kind of interested in maybe carrying it around the ankle, you can just buy this for about 20 bucks. Like I said, of course, shipping will differ depending on where you're buying it, but for about 20 bucks you can pick this up, so you have another way of carrying it. So that's the knife. I like the knife a lot. Like I said, for me, I don't really use it as an EDC blade. I just use it, I carry it around just in case kind of a knife. So I don't have too much experience with actually using this blade. But if you guys actually use this, I'd love to, you know, read your comments down below. Chime in, tell everyone what you think for, you know, for this specific design as an everyday cutter. So once again, guys, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.